What's happening, people? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel to be able to help my channel show up on other people's feed, and it also lets you know when I'm dropping a new video. Today we'll be talking about HR, HR's responsibility, which you need to understand first of all, because HR's responsibility is for recruiting, screening, training, and job applications. That's what HR is, what that department is for in any workplace, right? So I want to give you a little story. What's happening? I want to give you a little story what I heard today
discrimination and requested reasonable
from someone who was in HR and they work in HR. Hold on. One second. I just want you to listen to his story.
Have you ever felt completely betrayed by HR? Because I did, and I work in HR myself.
So he works in
I raised
HR.
concerns about disability discrimination and requested reasonable adjustments. Boy, I was not expecting them to turn around and basically say I was playing the race card because I raised concerns about disability discrimination and requested reasonable adjustments.
Let me just let you have a look at him first. I hope you can see him. So his page on TikTok is Work Advice for You. Shout out him.
So these are the emails that HR actually said behind closed doors that obviously they didn't think I would see, but thank God for a subject access request. The first one was, the language used at times is focused on racism and comes across as a personal agenda. What? I was talking about disability discrimination. Where's race come into this? They then dismiss my concerns as an, I quote, an aggressive and unnecessary approach. What? In that moment, I was just completely shocked. Never did I think someone would say the quiet part out loud, especially in an email. To me, it was just giving racial profiling. I never expected HR, the very group meant to uphold fairness, to betray me like this. What frustrates me so much is I dedicated so much time at work to promoting inclusive culture and leadership and trying to build a workplace culture that just embraced everyone. To then see these comments, I just felt humiliated and disgusted, and that's not even all of it. There was so much information in the subject access request that just, completely left me shattered. After seeing the contents of the subject access request, I was just off work, signed off sick, just hoping for a resolution to return. But that bridge is officially burnt. I resigned, and now I'm taking this all the way to court, the employment tribunal. And believe me, this isn't even a fraction of what I've endured. I'm mentally drained, and every day just genuinely feels like a battle. For anyone...
Right. So what it is, and I've known this for a little while because I learnt my lesson by blowing the whistle on a situation which happened inside the workplace, being quite transparent and telling them like what happened on my behalf, and ask them like how are they going to deal with it, because I don't come to work for that type of thing. Do you understand? We're just civilians trying to earn some dough. But what that person was going through, he was talking about basically he works for HR. He raised an issue about disabilities, and they said that he wrote an aggressive email and he was trying to use the race card. So disability, that word is not the same as discriminate, right? And I guess maybe someone might be dyslexic there. I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, is someone's dyslexic and they couldn't read what you put down on the paper. But for that given reason, you should be able to negotiate with them. But everybody has to understand there's no business out there that is on negotiation. Like if you do something what they feel is an attack on them, or you say something which is putting them in a compromising position, whether it be something happened at work or whatever, they'll just get rid of you, innit? Hence what happened to him. He worked for HR and they could still get rid of him. Do you get it? There's so many ways which companies have made little loopholes how to just fuck over the normal person. Yeah? And they will do it. Like, you're nobody to them. Everyone's got to understand that. You're just a moving cog for them. Even if you feel like, and I felt like this, I make big bucks here, man. They can't talk to me. You mad? Listen, if I make big money, they're making bigger money on me. So deep it for yourself and do the maths before you start talking, because I've done the talking many a times and said, oh, you know, like I make X amount of money and blah, blah, blah. And again, they probably just laughed about it. Probably walked to the car, both of them, big bellies out, and just, did you hear what he said? He thinks that blah, blah, blah. And they were right. And I was wrong. But you got to learn lessons sometimes, innit? And I think that when I've learned these lessons, for me to be totally transparent with people, it takes a level of me understanding what position I'm in. And I'm not in a powerful position by feeling like or doing the shout at you type of vibe, or da 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 da, or hit them up with a smart email, because again they'll when you've written something down for them, they'll just keep going over it and detracting it and saying, oh, well, this part what you said and that part what you said wasn't nice, and this part, you know, maybe the wording or maybe how you approached it. I always think that being a young black male, yeah, the way I've got to come across to them has got to be really different than other people. But it can happen to anybody. But so much being the black male and being in that position where I am in, again, I had a manager that said something racist to me. So I was like, he said to me, oh, but I can't be racist. Like, I've got black mates, and showed me this guy on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that left a mad silence for me, because I'm thinking, QPR fan, big belly man, bald head. I could have seen this coming. Do you get it? But we're not even on that tip for you to be talking to me like that about. So I just wondered where the hell this has come from. But again, when I told my side of the story, which what happened, nobody wanted to deal with it. Nobody wanted to say like, oh, well, when I raised it and I said who it was, they thought it was someone who was outside the company. No, I'm talking about someone who's inside the company. Talk about the manager. Do you get it? And they're like, it sounded like a little house song starting off. They didn't know what to say, basically. And I just expect people to deal with things accordingly when we're in these types of situations in life, which is, you must have some type of protocol. You must have something in your handbook which tells you that you dealing with discrimination, blah, 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 blah. Do you get it? So me as a smart person, I find that out. I dig that up. We get all Columbo on you, and we find out what's really good, because reading that handbook will tell you a lot of things what you need to know, but it will tell you a lot of things what is not in there. They will say, oh, well, this is the additional one. Well, this is the other one. Well, why didn't you give me that one in the first place? Chips. But what everybody will do is keep moving the goalposts and making it uncomfortable for you. So my advice is always ask yourself, have you got 3 months rent? Yeah, because you're going to need it, because they're going to drop you out if you make this Fireboy email over to them. Calculate it for yourself and say, do you know what? I can take 1 or 2 L's. But if I'm consistently taking these L's and I feel that this is going to affect me mentally and physically, it might affect my pocket, you have to make a beeline for another company. Find somewhere else. Do you get it? And if someone wants to ask you why, just be open with them. Just be like, yeah, I was getting some racist comments towards me at this workplace. Guess that I bet you they're not going to call them for a reference. They're not going to want to do that. But again, if they want to be open, I just be open with people. I tell people, I've said it to people before. So why did you leave that other workplace? Yeah, because the manager was being racist towards me. That's it. They don't want to carry on that conversation because they're like, well, what are you going to ask me? What did he say? Why would you want to know what he said? It's irrelevant. And the side of the story will be told by one person, and it will be narrated and and someone will be the puppet master on the other side. So the business will always be the puppet master, yeah? They'll always hide behind someone else, the human resource people, but they're telling everybody, the CEO, the director, the person that hoovers the floor, oh yeah, blah, 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 sent an email. Oh, is it? What did they say? Oh, they said this. Just know that they all talk. They all talk like we was in a speed dating contest. They're all sitting down and talking about what you're doing, what you're saying, how they're going to approach it, and how they're going to fuck you over. Yeah, just understand that in that specific way I've said it. As you send the email, they're going to tell everyone else about it. This is not going to stay confidential. This is going to be very open. It's going to be up for discussion. They might have a meeting before you have a meeting, before they even start talking to you about it, how they're going to deal with it with you, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to send him an official letter, and if he don't turn up at the place, and if he doesn't set the date that we set for him, if he doesn't do the thing, if he or she doesn't do the things that we set out as a perimeter in this letter, we're not going to guide to nothing. We're going to say that we gave them a chance. We've done our own investigation into the matter. The investigation came up fucking trumps. Came up nothing. We couldn't find no racism. We couldn't find nobody acting the arse. Everyone was acting accordingly. Something must have been up that day. Maybe it was a leap year. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you don't have no evidence. But if you have some evidence, use your phone. Take some pictures. Take some videos. Do what you need to do. But you have to document your way of how it happened for it to hold weight, right? And when I say wait, I mean sequel of events. If something happened on this day, make sure you document it. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you have a log of it. Yeah. And when you have that log, don't share that with them at all until the meeting. You let them know I've got some stuff to present to you, but you don't share it before, because anything before and showing your cards before you get to war is a silly idea, because it's war when you get there. They're going to be telling you everything. Oh, sometimes you go to the tea machine and you take an extra 5 minutes. We don't say nothing about that. But you ask them to get them a tea. I'm not a tea boy, so they can't ask me to do that. I don't drink tea. Bring your own water as well. Yeah? But my thing is, just know that the company what you're working for 10 years, 15 years, see all them gold pens what you used to see like your mum and dad get, 20 years of service. That shit's done. That shit sailed a long time ago. Like, being loyal past 5 o'clock is a madness. Being loyal to someone who is not loyal to you, who will drop you out, is mad. It's a mad way to think. It's a mad way to think. Just because I spend 40 hours a week with Sandra and Paul and Stacey, you think they give a fuck? They don't care. They'll rat you out. That's how it is. They will rat you out so they can get a deeper position inside the company and embellish their feet underneath the table. So they know every single year they're getting a little Christmas hamper. They're getting a little toe brew chocolate bar. Yeah. Or little Quality Streets. Yeah. She loves a little Ferrero Rochers. Yeah. You think you're messing that up? Nah, she's telling them when they're going to get a tea, clink, clink, clink. Well, I heard that this person said this. Yeah, I was overhearing them. Yeah. Don't say anything though. Put down the drink. They got you. Like, you've got to understand, this is a game of chess, not checkers. Please do not think that these people haven't run through loads of people who are like yourself, who think that, no, I'm on point. No, I know this, I know that. Because I've been that person. And guess where we ended up? No job after. Yeah? No job. And again, that plays on your mind, your psyche, when you go into your next job. Because you're there thinking, oh, fuck, I can't have these people do this to me again, because I can't really go for it again. I mean, it's stressful enough, and not even having the dozies just messes you up. But there is a little bright light at the end, which is called tribunal, court. But if you're going to take anyone to court, you have to have your paperwork. Have your paperwork. And you got to have it in order. Because you can rip them to pieces, but just know that if you don't have all your P's and your Q's right, they're going to get you with something. So just make sure you've got a strong case even before you get there. Because generally, if you've got a strong case before you get there, they'll settle with you before it gets to that, because it costs them time and money. But because a lot of people don't really want to go through this stress and aggro of what it's like to take someone to court, to keep re-going over some of the stuff, to re-go over the way someone just disrespects you. I mean, it's depleting in a whole. I don't really talk about my HR situation a lot because, again, this happened to me 2 years ago. Someone said to me about that black thing at work, and I'm like, do you know what? I knew working in Chelsea was going to be difficult, but from the people who I'm work with, who hired me. No, I thought it would be someone who works at the place saying something wild. But someone might have to get a little slap. I did think that, but they were all cool, super humble people, normal people. But the work people just had a different type of, they're not from London. Do you get it? That's why they were like that. They thought they could talk the talk anytime they want, but just not with me. Because I said to them one day, I'll just blast you on the internet. Do you get it? I have enough people to blast you. I don't blast people for specific reasons because of, say this was a personal reason, yeah? Or this was personal to me. I'm not going to tell everyone about it. I'm going to make them aware with the video which I made, which was about if you're a young black person getting into the construction industry, which is sitting at 12,000 views at the moment from you lot on YouTube who subscribe. And that's when I realized I've opened Pandora's box. Yeah, I've opened the box, and a lot of people go through the things which I do. And if I've got a platform, I've got a voice, I'm not afraid to say what I went through. It's not because I am some type of gal clown or a clown. I'm not a clown, very serious person. But carrying these things onto later parts of your life is not a good thing. They're chapters which you need to close. You hear me speak about chapters many a times. Things that you need to put to bed. The way someone disrespects you at work, put that to bed. Don't carry that around with you all the time, because that will play on your psyche. Your girl asks you what's up, you say nothing, but really there's something up. You don't like the way how people disrespect you in your day job. It's only a 9 to 5. Do you understand? You're still who you are as a person. People should always respect others, right? Only unless you have to disrespect them. And at some points, some big adults, they need disrespecting. We all know that. But there's a time and a place. And generally, the place is not the work. Like, you could say something sly if you want, but sometimes they're just going to make life harder for yourself, innit? That's why most of us probably just move on from those bad situations or the bad vibes what you get from people. Like, I always got an airy-fairy vibe from that guy. I kind of knew he was like that from the beginning, but I was just waiting for a chance, because me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I did go at him a couple of times. I was like, they were talking about something which was another racial thing as well, and I said, well, it's not necessary for you to say that, innit? Because we're in Europe, and it was talking about a part of the tap, yeah, but the tap is from Europe, right? And he's like, oh, all these European parts. I'm like, mate, England doesn't make nothing, and I don't even know if you're English yourself. Do you get it? Like, what's this, an argument over parts and where they're coming from in the world? Shut up, man. What a fool. And I realized your mind and where you think and how you think about people or the things what you say, you don't think before you say nothing. But that's your own business. Like, again, I don't have a personal relationship with that person, but what I saw on the surface, and that was the CEO person, don't like it. Shut up. Chips, man. Fool. I mean, yeah, man. I'd never take that back from that, because that was uncalled for in a thing to say within the working environment. Very uncalled for, because it showed a lack of like respect for any other people, because generally, you know, people who bring their own culture to work or their own way of looking at stuff or saying stuff, they're not including or understanding that there's diversity in the world. Yeah, there's diversity in the workplace. So you've got to understand people come from all over different places. Of course, someone's going to be offended with what you're saying. Innit? Think about what you're saying before you say it. And the guy who said to me about, yeah, I've got black mates, look at my black mate on Facebook. Yeah. He was a man who, even if he said something wrong to me in the past, which he did do at work, just about something what maybe he didn't know, because he told me he was a tradesperson, but clearly not an electrician, has never been an electrician, and he was definitely not a plumber. He knew nothing about plumbing at all. He would get some stuff wrong oftenly, and I would make him say sorry. I'd be like, yeah, what are you talking about, man? You said that yesterday. What did you mean by that? Because that's what you said yesterday. Oh, no. I said, well, yeah, you got to say sorry then, because you're just talking nonsense. Do you get it? And I made him know that the nonsense chat, what comes out of your mouth, every time you say something silly or something, you're going to say sorry for it. Because why do I have to hear it? I'm not paid to hear you talk nonsense or hear you say stupid remarks about something or get something wrong and say, oh, I'm sorry. Just say sorry, man. At the end of the day, you're wasting time, innit? That's how I look at it. Even though it's time that I'm being paid for, I still like to have my time be used in a good way when I'm at work, which is we're going to do work. If you cock up and you order something which is wrong, which you've done like 3 or 4 times, I mean, admit it, you're the only person who orders the stuff. Oh, it must have been this person. No, it was you. Just hold your hands up, man. It's called adulthood. It's called growing up. But you're not going to get any of this out of any work situation when it comes to HR. You're not going to get HR growing up and understanding where they've went wrong with you. In their eyes, the business is always golden. You are just a worker. Once we understand this all, yeah, the emphasis for business culture will be very clear. And it is clear. It's in black and white. Like, you complain about something about the business and the business doesn't like your approach and how you went about it, and it's because you've emailed every single director and you've done this and you've done that, they'll just get rid of you. Just understand that, innit? They don't care. They never have cared. They never cared in the first place. I mean, like, that's what's always made me not go to work parties or work things. Remember, these people are not my friend, you know. I'm a big man with my own friends, gal friend. No man friend like that. Just they're my people, them. My dogs. Can't call them that word. Yeah. But socially, we don't need to be mixing with each other, because I realized that often if you go out socially with someone and you start talking just about maybe about your life and all that, they just think they know everything after a 10-minute conversation. Oh yeah, but you told me that, and told me, yeah, but I've told you that I do acting, innit? So why didn't you think that this was all an act when I said it to you? Is it you the one that's just not paying attention? Oh, so what, you was acting? Could have been. Could have been. You just don't know. It's the best thing to say to them. Could have been acting. I act in my spare time. So mind that when I'm doing one of my scripts or my roles on you, you won't get it. It might just go over your head. It was all an act. Again, you deeped into that persona of what I've told you about that person. So obviously I'm going to get the role for that. Yeah? What I'm saying to you at the end of the day is this whole HR thing, it's not for the faint-hearted. I see many people lose their job, and when I say they don't care about you, yeah, I mean that in the utmost way. Like, if you know something about someone at a company, like, people are taking backhanders, because bare people take backhanders. You're all out there, and none of you lot go to church or pray, because if you was doing that, Selassie and all of these people come for no. But you do that, and that's what you do. Again, that's never sat well with me, but it's a big part of construction, the little brown paper bag and everyone getting a little side piece money. Yeah. All of you lot, little chicken and chips money. watch yourself, you know. If you become a whistleblower of that situation, you want to let people know, oh, that's happening and blah, blah, blah. You will be the one who they will come for, because their organization is generally bigger than you. And as much as you feel like you're an asset to the situation, to the company, to the people, whatever, you're not. You're an asset to yourself. That's the best asset you are, is to yourself. I would always tell people to rethink that idea before you make that move on them. Say, oh, I'm gonna tell off Paul because Paul's just getting them up. Listen, Paul's dad owns this company or whatever. It's not gonna go well. Don't do it. Just move on. Most adults now, we've not got the time or the patience to be dealing with foolishness. And the workplace is nothing but foolishness and politics. So if you find yourself in the mix, get your ass out. That is my advice, because it's hard enough just for people just to operate inside the workplace without any drama and tension. Yeah, you get drama and tension and things which you could probably balance out yourself by ignoring people and being the grown-up person. But everybody has a different threshold. My threshold is more of the ignoring people and the silence, because I know what silence does to people. Silence cuts deep with people. Like, I could be silent and it will say so many words. Or I could be myself and be talkative and joke. But that also allows people to think that I'm on a game all the time. I'm not on a game. I wouldn't want you to play a game with me. So let me hold my character back in working scenarios and just be the professional person who I can be. Again, it's a bit boring, but you know what? If we have to save our dignity and our pride and these people from taking my Selfridges trips away from me eating at West End, going to fancy restaurants, me driving nice cars, and me going to the jewelers and these types of things, we can allow the conversation between me and you, because I'm always cooking. It's best for me to cook up in my brain and think about my way on how I can get out of this situation. Because every situation and work and these things which people find themselves in HR, they ain't forever. Again, you can go somewhere else. I know that the job market is not very good right now. That's something which I definitely would say. So definitely think about that before you do that move, because nobody wants to be out of work with no money coming in, when sometimes you can put up with a little bit of bullshit from this person. But document it. And if you're going to make a move on them, have enough. Document it. Do you get it? Don't just have it one or twice. Get them with a few. Do you get it? That's how you got to come. You got to come with a few. And then you got to move like your OJ in the trial. If you watch OJ and you're old enough, you will know. You know how OJ is moving. Gangster business. Anyway, don't play with these companies, because they will play with your personal money. They will play with your psyche at the end of the day. I've been through it, man. Like I said, I wouldn't wish it on most people, but you will see that there will be no support from the company once they sever ties with you. Whether you've had 10 years of it, 10 years with them, 20 years, they don't care. They don't care. And I just want you guys to understand, HR is the new they don't care. They do not care about you. They do not care what you're going through. They care that your ass is in work, and they care that you're making them bread. Yeah. If you're not doing any of them things, forget it. They don't want to hear your problems. They're not here for your problems. They don't want to know why there's not enough toilet paper in the bathroom. They don't care. They got their own bathroom. Do you understand? So just limitate on what you can deal with to what you ask them to deal with. Because if it's too much for you to deal with, generally it's probably too much for them to deal with. Yeah? Start your own company, make your money, get online, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, because we're building mindsets, we're building dreams, and we're building people up, never down, because we're all going up. Yeah? Up, 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 up. So leave a like and subscribe to my channel, because this was my first bad experience with HR. And now we're off. Gone.